Module Overview. Accountability lies at the heart of democratic governance and public sector integrity. It is both a moral obligation and a functional mechanism for ensuring that individuals and institutions, especially those wielding power, are held responsible for their actions, decisions, and performance. This module critically explores the various forms, layers, institutions, actors, instruments, challenges, innovations, and comparative models of accountability within governance systems. The module integrates perspectives from public administration, law, ethics, political science, organizational theory, and civic engagement, and offers you the ability to deconstruct institutional weaknesses, evaluate real-world enforcement gaps, and design practical accountability frameworks in the public sector, corporate domain, civil society, and international development systems. Understanding accountability. Core meaning and scope. Accountability refers to the obligation of power holders to justify their actions, to accept responsibility, and to be subjected to sanctions or corrective measures when necessary. It includes answerability, obligation to provide explanations and reasons for actions, responsiveness, obligation to act in accordance with public interest and ethical norms, enforceability, availability of sanctions or corrective remedies when duties are violated. Accountability is not merely reactive, punishing wrongdoing, but proactive, setting up systems to prevent abuse and promote transparency and performance. Types of accountability in governance systems. The module outlines three major forms of accountability. A. Horizontal accountability. This refers to the mechanisms through which state institutions hold each other accountable. It includes parliamentary oversight, judicial review, Auditor General's Office, public service commissions, anti-corruption agencies, executive monitoring units, ombudsman institutions. These mechanisms work to check, restrain, and supervise the activities of peer institutions, ensuring a balance of power and institutional integrity. B. Vertical accountability. This form involves citizen-to-state accountability, typically through elections, civic participation, protests, petitions, and public demands. Citizens act as watchdogs, demanders of rights, participants in feedback loops. Tools include electoral processes and reforms, social media advocacy, referenda, and citizen-initiated legislation, participatory budgeting. C. Diagonal accountability. This combines institutional and civic oversight by involving non-state actors such as the media, NGOs, whistleblowers, and digital activists who operate outside formal state structures but exert significant influence over state conduct. Examples: investigative journalism exposing corruption, civil society organizations filing lawsuits, hacktivists, or digital leaks, e.g., WikiLeaks, Panama Papers. Key institutions responsible for oversight. Institutions vary across jurisdictions, but key players include legislature, through legislative hearings, inquiries, and committees, e.g., public accounts committees. Judiciary, through constitutional interpretation and administrative justice. Auditor General, financial compliance, forensic audits, and performance evaluation. Ombudsman, handles citizen complaints against administrative injustice. Anti-corruption agencies, ACAs, investigate and prosecute unethical conduct, e.g., EFCC, Nigeria, ICPC, Nigeria, CCB, TI. Ethics commissions and tribunals. These institutions must be legally empowered, operationally independent, properly funded, respected, and protected from retaliation. Global mechanisms and innovations in accountability. This section highlights how international organizations and donor institutions promote accountability. World Bank and International Monetary Fund conditionalities, African Peer Review Mechanism, APRM, OECD Anti-Bribery Convention, Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative, EITI, International Criminal Court, ICC, for state accountability in conflict situations. Tools and instruments of accountability. Modern accountability systems use performance scorecards, public expenditure tracking surveys, PETs, service delivery surveys, social audits and community scorecards, whistleblower frameworks, public interest litigation, PIL, procurement monitoring portals, open data and blockchain platforms. Barriers to effective accountability. Accountability faces systemic, political, and structural challenges, such as political interference and elite capture, weak enforcement mechanisms, cultural tolerance of corruption, lack of citizen awareness and civic education, inadequate resources and training, intimidation of whistleblowers and media. Strategies for strengthening accountability. Legal reforms to strengthen autonomy and power of oversight institutions, ensuring regular, free, and fair elections, enhancing civic space for participation and media freedom, deploying technology for citizen monitoring and reporting, capacity building for watchdog agencies, protection laws for whistleblowers and journalists, independent budgeting for anti-corruption bodies. Conclusion of module. This module equips you to identify and analyze accountability mechanisms, understand their institutional, civic, and legal underpinnings, recognize their interdependence with transparency and participation, apply models in varied national, subnational, and sectoral settings. Good governance cannot exist without accountability. A government that is not held accountable loses legitimacy, risks abuse of power, and fails its citizens.